You're watching the Eternal Tournament Series.
And we are back with round 2 of the Eye of Winter Tournament. With me again is Counterbob in the booth. Counterbob, welcome back. You want to give us a quick rundown of this matchup?
Thank you. Yes, we are seeing another practice deck, very similar list. Couple cards a little bit different, but on the other side, something a little bit more fun to watch, perhaps. GHP is playing a Moment of Creation deck. Practice base, throwing in some shadow cards like Deathstrike, Statuary Maiden. We've seen this kind of pop up on ladder here and there over the last week. I think someone posted on Reddit about a list they made masters with. So I've seen it play on ladder here and there. Should be interesting. Seen some where they're more in, like deep in the moment deck, lots of spells. This one seems to be more unit based for the most part.
Yeah, and just a couple of things to call out about that Praxis list. I am seeing there's like a Singleton Friendly Wasp, which is really interesting. They're running 4 Power Stone, which isn't too crazy. They have 2 Diagos as well. And the matchup, of course, is between NotoriousGHP and RedWorld. RedWorld being on Praxis, GHP being on Moment of Creation. And yeah, I'm looking at the Waystone Diffuser. So I don't know. I think, like, I know I said this last time, but I think RedWorld can kind of, I think RedWorld's got enough aggression that they can actually start kind of beating down. It's just a matter of, can RedWorld produce enough threats to get through all of the removal and roadblocks that GHP has?
Yes, it's definitely a more aggressive Praxis deck. I love Diago. It's like one of my favorite. It's probably my favorite Praxis card. I just think it's a fun card to play with, and it can do so much for this style of deck.
Yeah, so we see right out the gate Notorious go ahead and playing that banner, the Xenon banner. And do you think we're going to see a Vara's Choice? No, okay, we're going to see the Stonecard banner come down, saving that Vara's Choice, perhaps let RedWorld draw a few more cards to get a little bit better value out of it. RedWorld sitting in hand with a Dawnwalker, so we are going to want to see that Vara's Choice, which we do, come out from GHP, going to be able to hit that Dawnwalker, and that's going to be a threat that he no longer has to worry about. Granted, GHP did have the Purify in hand, so, you know.
Yeah, with the Purify, I might have held off on that. A lot of the Praxis cards you really want to hit come down turn 4, 5, 6. Mm-hmm. So you maybe could have waited a little bit to perhaps hit a better target. So, you know, more times to draw it off of it.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely don't mind taking the Sandstorm Titan there, especially since you have the Deathstrike. It gets the hardest to deal with creature out of the way, and now you have a Statuary Maiden as well. So I have to, and Dawnwalker coming in for an attack. Yeah, I was about to say I have to imagine GHP is going to actually take that, but this is going to be a pretty big hit with this Purify coming down, or potentially even the Deathstrike.
Yeah, I would definitely Deathstrike first. Titan's a bigger threat, and something you got to remember. It's a good thing to do is your life total is also a resource. So taking the 4 from Dawnwalker is no problem, especially when you can build up cudgels with a Maiden.
100%. And I do enjoy throwing the cudgel on there right away, especially since there's the Purify, because like you really, really want to get your Statuary Maiden up and over that 6 health mark. That way you're playing around the 3 obliterates that RedWorld has, or some sort of combination of multiple torches.
In this turn, we could see the Purify into a cudgel to get it out of range, and then a choice into the hand to get rid of him. He's going to choice the 5/5.
Ooh, I'm a fan of all of this. Going to crack in for 6 with that Statuary Maiden. RedWorld going to fall down to 15 here. GHP still sitting pretty at 17. This game looks like it's slipping away a little bit. Granted, GHP does have that Heart of the Vault in the hand where they're nowhere close to being able to cast. They're missing a time, 2 fire sources, and just a power overall.
And the Vara choice on the 5/5 is very good because you can see in hand, you know, he has enough power to cast pretty much anything in the deck. That's 6. And if he's playing just the 5/5 Amber Monument, it's obvious he doesn't have anything worth playing. So choice in the hand wouldn't have been something worth it.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. And then Yeah, so yeah, it makes perfect sense for throwing that back. It is going to be interesting though with RedWorld. Ooh, all right. Well, there's the third time, so now we're just needing a couple of two fire sources. We do see the Mystic Ascendant come down. I feel questionable about that. I guess you can throw the cudgel on it next turn, but like
Yeah.
I don't know that it's 100% necessary. But
Yeah, there's been a few turns gone by where there's no obliterates have happened, so it's pretty free to play out there. And he also wants to just get another body since he does have the hearts. He can see two of them, so he just wants to get more pressure.
Yeah, and so GHP is going to take that one down, but like I would argue the fact that we haven't seen an obliterate, like because like there hasn't really been a good obliterate target, right? There was a 1-turn window where the Statuary Maiden would have been able to be hit, and there are still 3 in the deck. We haven't like I don't know. I would have been a little bit more leery because I don't think there was crazy value to be had from doing that. All right, so let's take you want to do a quick rundown of the old sideboards? What do you think we're going to be seeing?
So RedWorld has a whole bunch of one-ofs, things that we can bring in against this deck. Purify, maybe. There's some targets to silence. Silence is just such a great ability. Overall, looking at it, not seeing anything overwhelmingly sticking out. You may be able to see something I don't.
For RedWorld?
Yeah.
Let's see. Sandstorm is interesting, but I don't think you want that in this matchup. Maybe you might just be bringing in things like the Devoted Thurge, just to increase your threat density, right? I don't think you're going to want the maybe you do want some of the Praxis Displacers in order to get rid of some of the cudgels that would be made off of Maiden, or to get a unit out of the way. I don't.
Yeah, Maiden's a very annoying card for this deck, so just having another way to get rid of it could be good.
Yeah.
And then on GHP side, let's see, Steward of the Past is probably going to come in, deal with Dawnwalkers on the Praxis side. That's definitely the first glaring thing I see.
Yeah, and I actually really like. I think some of the sabotages can do well there. Just go ahead and get rid of those torches, get rid of the power stones, get rid of the obliterates. I don't know if I'm bringing in all 4, but I definitely don't mind them. Oh, and it also hits the Xenon Obelisk. So I think I think you can make a pretty reasonable case for sabotage because it's still going to be feeding your Mona creations as you're going through.
Yes, definitely. It also depends how much you want to take out. So Steward's good, but you do have the Maidens. So do you want to stack up having six ways to deal with stuff going to the void, and then some number of sabotage? So then what are you taking out? So always got to think about that.
Yeah,
I think you want to keep in Shadowglass. I mean, Joe was going to say take it out, but he is playing Obelisk, so you want to keep it in.
And so do we have... Okay, so it does look like RedWorld did bring in the... Looks like they brought in the 2 Purifies. I glanced over a little bit too late to see exactly what they were boarding. It looks like they made a few other choices than from what I was looking at. Purify makes sense in order to answer the Maiden for sure. I don't know how much else that's doing, and that still leaves like a 2/4, if not a bigger body on board. So I don't know, but it looks like players are jumping in. So let's go ahead and jump into the match as well.
Yeah, I noticed RedWorld took out 1 Predatory Connoisseur as well.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. I guess the Purifies are also good against the Mystic Ascendants as well.
Mm-hmm. It looks like GHP won't have problems with hitting the right power for Heart of the Vaults.
No, and we do see, yeah, they are, and GHP does have all of the power necessary to get to 6 power in order to cast that Heart of the Vault. However, RedWorld coming out quite a bit of aggressive, fueling with that, or being fueled by that Power Stone, allowing for this turn 3 Sandstorm Titan to come down. This might be a little too much pressure for GHP right off the bat.
Oh, yeah, especially with an Obelisk. And the next play that GHP is going to have is turn 6. nothing to do for a few turns, might just have to chump the scribe. Yeah, this 6/7 Titan could just push through, especially looking at the hand of RedWorld. He does have not much in terms of pressure. Could just play out the Shatterglass Mage if necessary.
Yeah, so I have to imagine we're going to see. I think you actually take this hit for 6 here. Yeah, because then you play the Heart of the Vault, take care of the Temple Scribe, and then you can at least block and trade with the Titan.
Yeah, well, it's one of them. He did play a second now, so that could prove to be a bit more difficult. You can actually trade with one. You
still have the other Heart of the Vault in hand, and they're going to be leaving this Temple Scribe back. I can't imagine they kill the Temple Scribe. Or well, all right. Well, now they do this instead. But
makes sense.
Had the block been allowed to happen, I have to imagine that they would leave the Temple Scribe alive and not the Heart of the Vault, which then would set you up to be able to take care of the others. Sandstorm Titan. We are going to see the Statuary Maiden come out immediately after both Purifies from RedWorld were shot off. So now there's not a great answer to the Statuary Maiden unless there is an Obliterate in hand, and we do not see that. What we do see is the Shatterglass Mage. So that's going to drop Notorious down to 2, which is definitely not the highest life total that you would want. But also not the worst thing is we're going to be able to see a Mystic Ascendant come down, a power play. Oh, okay. Okay, so we're going to do... Okay, so that makes more sense. So Heart of the Vault, hitting the Shatterglass Mage, power, and then purifying the Shatterglass Mage to finish it off. Oh, or not.
Yeah, that's an interesting choice.
No, I think this is fine. So you're just trading here. They replay the Sandstorm Titan. Then you get to next turn, play the Ascendant, play a power, and then Death Strike the Titan.
The drawing the Death Strike, making it only cost 2 definitely helps. Oh, and a banish for the Dawnwalker.
Yeah.
Or Purify is probably much better, so it's not going to come back.
Yeah, and then you could theoretically use the banish on the Sandstorm Titan, but you might want to save that for your Xenon Obelisk here.
I would play it. Yeah, you have the Death Strike too, so you have it all in your hand. Surviving at 1 life, every point counts. You can always play as long as you have at least 1.
A little risky. Now, is there a good way for GHP to gain some life, put a little bit of buffer in there? It doesn't really look like it other than Temple Scribe, and I believe we've already seen 1. So they would need all 3 of the rest of their Temple Scribes in order to be able to really pull something out here, or at least get them out of torch range. Ooh.
There's a moment. He just has to fade a torch, obliterate for the next few turns.
I actually think you can... Ooh, all right. You just want to put some gas on, so you're going to be able to attack in for 13 here, and then you have lethal on board, so you just have to, fade the draw. There's another draw step for RedWorld. Is RedWorld going to get it? There's not something immediately fired off, so RedWorld is going to concede the game. GHP taking it down at 1 life, and that's a 2-0 for GHP. Wow,
that's an impressive victory, coming back and staying mellow and being able to use your life as a resource and push through the end damage. Yeah, you definitely wanted to clear out and give RedWorld the least amount of turns to draw anything to just kill. Like he had. I don't think he played any torches that game.
No, it was just the 2 Purifies that came down, and I will say
7.
If anybody's keeping track at home, I am 0 for 2 for calling these matches. If I was a betting man, I would just bet on exactly the opposite of what I'm saying, and you'll probably make some good money.
The classic caster's curse.
Yeah, for all of your, because I know everybody is trying to find an Argon dealer in chat now, and that shit's not cheap. Not cheap.
Priorities.
Yeah, I know. So checking to see if we have a back up. Looks like we might, but so in the meantime, let's do a quick little rundown of what the ETS is, which again will be coming back in January. And it's our tournament series. It's the Eternal Tournament Series, even. Basically, it consists of tournaments that happen on every single Saturday. And every 2 months, we have a 2-day invitational that includes cash prizes. You get invites from the invitationals from doing well in the tournaments that happen on Saturday. And again, all of this is completely free. And then if you do well at the invitationals, guess what? You're going to come to our mid-year and annual championships that has a $3,000 prize pool. You're going to want to do it. How do you get in? You're asking? I mentioned it was free. Well, guess what? Is free. Zero reason for you not to come out. If you've got a deck you want to play, it'll get it. Go ahead and get in there. Get in there. It doesn't matter. What are you going to lose? You're going to get tournament practice. It's going to be great, right? Invitationals, also free. It's you just got to win and open, perform consistently, gather your points, right? And then the mid-year and annual championships seeded by those invitationals. So again, make sure you guys come out, check out RNGeternal.com. We're going to have a calendar up there soon. But yeah, just keep an eye out. And I really hope to see everybody in January. So jumping back, let's see about this backup match. It seems like we have one. Maybe. All right. What's your guess? Do we have a backup match, Counterbob?
I'm just gonna guess. Yeah.
Oh, you cheated. You cheated. They announced it before you answered. All right. So it looks like it's going to be Tatsumaki versus Komodo. Not entirely sure what they're playing just yet. We'll have that information for you guys here in just a second. Now, Counterbob, have you had a chance to play on the ETS? And if so, what have your experiences been?
I have yet to play. I just haven't had the time to commit. When I play in tournaments and card games and various MOBAs and stuff, I like to full commit. I'm an all-in or not in at all person, so I just haven't had time to commit between work and stuff like this. That's why I figure come to the caster booth is a bit easier to contribute to the community and just become a bigger part of it.
Yeah, for sure. So, and you had mentioned that you were a Magic player before this. Did you ever grind any of the tournament scenes or any?
Yeah, there was. I played tons of FNMs. Played SCG circuit for a little bit. I think my biggest quote unquote claim to fame is winning like a 32-person local tournament that qualified you for a tournament that was being held at Worlds that year, which was in New York City. At the time.
Oh, nice.
This was like 2007. The tournament was for a win-a-car. So you win your local tournament, and then you play in a side event tournament at Worlds. And if you won that, you won a car. Needless to say, I did not win a car.
You won a... Man. I actually, I don't know. I wouldn't want to pay taxes on a car.
Yeah.
I don't think.
I think it was like, God, what is that? The Toyota like FJ? That like weird-looking SUV thing?
Oh, actually, I don't know. I'd probably drive that around and then just try to drive through a wall at some point. Oh my goodness. Okay, so not sure if you pulled up Tatsumaki's game yet. But yeah, so Tatsumaki on Big Combre versus Komodo on Dark Combre. I believe they are 0-0 right now. And once we cut over to that match, we will you'll see why. This is a board state if I have ever seen one.
Oh boy, there's too many numbers.
Yeah, so I'm not entirely sure if chat can see what we are looking at just yet, but it is both players. Okay, the game is live, so we should be seeing some gameplay here in just a second. But boarded. This is how do you even get? All right, so there's got to be multiple great parliaments going off. There's been, it looks like multiple turns of Seraph activations. Some stand-togethers must have gone off.
Yes, the only thing is Komodo does have Martial Arathorn active, so that could turn things in his favor. Unless we see it go off here. Although there was 5 units with Aegis, so some of them survive.
Yeah. All right. So I looked away for 2 seconds. Okay, so that was the Martial Ironthorn activation.
And then just a casual 22-22 swing in.
You know, I've had better.
Yes.
Just putting that out there. You know, modest. So these both Seraphs get to activate each turn, though.
Yes.
Oh, Displacer. Does Displacer do anything here? Not particularly. I think you want to balance that Martial Ironthorn, right? Right?
No.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Reset that ultimate. Yeah.
You could. It is something you could do. Ooh, those were two decent activations. Get rid of 22-22, and then you have a blocker that kills whatever swings in.
Yeah, I almost kind of wish the 22-22 was there, though, at that point, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Oh, okay.
Okay. And 13, 14 power, 15. Oh, because the second Martial Ironthorn. Well, I think that's lethal. I'm not great at math, but I think those numbers add up to be more than Tatsumaki's life total.
Yes. Now I do wish the 22-22 was there, because just to see that how negative can we go.
Oh, goodness gracious. All right. So it looks like that is going to be game one, going over to Komodo. We do have the deck list in front of us now. So let's take a quick look at the old sideboards.
So Komodo looks like, yes, 4 Sabotage, 1 Vanquish. That'll probably come in. Banish as well. Harsh Rule, you could see. It's maybe they're both trying to complete the same objective, and you have the Iron Thorns. Those are probably just better. So Harsh Rule, probably stay in the board. Something like Stand Together might come in.
Yeah, I think the Stand Togethers are definitely coming in, but it also, because there's no way that the Martial Iron Thorns are going to be sided out at least in entirety from either one of these decks, or at least I don't think Komodo could probably get away with siding out the Martial Iron Thorns, but as seen there, that was definitely a key to the game. I guess it really depends on what Komodo is trying to do. If Komodo wants to become more the control deck, and Tatsumaki thinks that they're supposed to be a little bit more aggressive, which they definitely can. I don't know if I would call this deck big Combre, given that given like with the Awakened Students and the Stand Togethers, I would definitely put this a little bit more in like Combre mid range, a little bit with just like a higher, like a big Combre mid. I don't know. It's a little too aggressive for me, but I think. So maybe Komodo does want to bring in the harsh rules and just try to control the board. However, like when you know that your opponent is packing 3 Stand Togethers, how much does that strategy actually make sense?
Yeah,
I do like the Reality Warrens coming in from Komodo's side, just as another. Actually, both of their sides, just another big beater that eats up a lot of the smaller things. This is definitely an interesting matchup. I have to imagine the banishes are going to be coming in. That extra banish is going to be coming in. You could make a case for Sabbath. Nah.
Yeah, there's too much. And with having Banish and Slay, I think you lean more towards the Dark Combre version just because you have more ways to just get rid of important things. Whereas Tatsumaki just doesn't have that ability.
Yeah. But we do see players go ahead and starting. Tatsumaki definitely has a hand. It's a little slow here, though. We're going to see the Combre banner come out right away. Komodo, of course, firing off that Seek Power at the first turn. The second turn, firing off the Seek Power again. And so I can't imagine Komodo's going to have any sort of issues. And Komodo is going to be forced first to the board with that Sandstorm Titan coming down theoretically next turn. Now, there is a Desert Marshal to chump it, but I can't imagine you'd want to waste a Desert Marshal on a Sandstorm Titan. So Tatsumaki is going to take, I believe, 10 damage before any sort of respite comes to their aid, and that's assuming that they would want to throw away that Desert Marshal, which I can't imagine you would.
Yeah, a handful of power and expensive cards. Looks like he desperately needs to draw something to deal with this Titan sooner than turn this. Yeah, so another power off the top is just not going to help at this point.
Yeah, I think what we're going to see from Tatsumaki is Martial Iron. Oh, interesting. Okay. No. Okay, yeah. Never mind. That is the play that I was thinking. Okay, so we do see the Desert Marshal come down, go ahead and soak up a couple points of damage. I still don't know that I like that use of Martial Iron or of Desert Marshal. It seems a little aggressive. You're still at 20. You can drop down to 15. Like realistically, you can get down to 10 because the board's going to get so cluttered, especially like moving forward here. But I have to imagine we're going to see Martial Ironthorn be played and then a single power being played. Oh,
We brought in Vodacom.
yeah. So we have the Voto combo going on. So that means that the voice of the speakers should probably be in as well. So Tatsumaki decided just to go, you know what? We're going to go bigger than Komodo can possibly go, and kind of forcing Komodo to really be the aggressor here.
And it did look like Komodo brought in the harsh rules.
Okay. All right. So we do see a vanquish coming from Tatsumaki. The harsh rule on Komodo's side is going to be able to answer this. So the question is, if you're Tatsumaki, are you going to wait until you have your stand-togethers?
He could just be forced. He's like in a defensive position at this point. It's tough position to be in. The only threat he has is the Vodacom, so he might just be forced to play it and not wait.
Yeah, and we see that. Oh,
I was gonna say, yep, the sleigh.
Yeah, Slay coming down from the Komodo, taking out that Mystic Ascendant. We're going to see an 9/9 Vodacon, and then we have to find the way that was saved in order for this Vodacon to actually get some immediate value. This is going to be Destinied into play. We'll draw another card into another power, draw another card. Great Parliament, not a bad draw. It's going to be a good answer to follow up to a harsh rule whenever Komodo decides to pull the trigger on that. I can't imagine Komodo's feeling enough pressure just yet to do that. You can take a hit for 11 if you really wanted to. You can also chump block. You have a second Mystic Ascendant in hand, so maybe you do fire off, but like Tatsumaki having 5 cards in hand, you don't know that they're all power. Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I like what Komodo's doing right now. He's just establishing a board presence. Next turn, if he hits another power, start activating Suroff, and just have chumps against the Vodacon forever.
Yeah. However, with this voice of the speaker potentially coming down, Tatsumaki starts having a much scarier board.
Yes, and that's perhaps why Komodo did bring in the harsh rule, just in case maybe he has some knowledge of Tatsumaki liking to switch into this combo. So just as a precaution, bring in the harsh rule.
And yeah, I was about to say, I think we're going to end up seeing Great Parliament. So this harsh rule is going to be backbreaking. Komodo is going to be able to fire that off, and then the next turn immediately play another Mystic Ascendant, holding up a Protect. Yeah, this is not looking ideal for Tatsumaki here.
Do you like him playing that power there? And
I don't. If Komodo had another power in hand, I would have liked a little bit more, but I much rather would have had a 6/6 on the board. But when you got it, flaunt it. There was a power off the top for Komodo for that turn, still giving Mystic Ascendant to be a 6/6. Ooh, wow! Great Parliament off the top for Tatsumaki, though. That's going to make 4 owls. That is lethal in the air. Komodo does have another harsh rule, but he's not going to have a decent follow-up after that.
No, it just looks like a Protect and a Valkyrie Enforcer in hand. Again, Tatsumaki just still sitting on 2 power. Both kind of top decking at this point, although Komodo does have a unit in hand.
Yeah, and Komodo did draw Martial Ironthorn, so that is a very reasonable threat to follow up onto the board. Komodo's sitting at a 2-turn clock against Tatsumaki. Tatsumaki, though, ripping a Sandstorm Titan off the top, getting that into play.
Just rips on rips each player off the top, drawing valuable threats.
This is great. So ooh, man. So if you're Komodo, I think you can take a hit. You can also play that Valkyrie Enforcer that you have in hand in order to silence a Sandstorm Titan, get that, and just get a chump blocker on the field. Or maybe you actually just want that flyer, put a 3-turn clock. My guess is that's not exactly where you want to be, but you know.
And then Iron Thorn off the top for Tatsumaki.
That can actually be activated. So here, you definitely swing with a Sandstorm Titan, right?
Yeah, because you either eat one of these or potentially it double blocks. Then one of them dies. If you do that, I would definitely take out the Iron Thorn. Though you're dealing with the 3/3 flyer and you're only at 9 health. You're just gonna hold back.
Yeah, I don't know. I liked attacking because the odds of them blocking seem relatively low, and if they do block, then you get that flyer out of the way, and then you still get to follow up with the Martial Ironthorn. Komodo at that point probably does attack with their Martial Ironthorn just to trade, since you can activate yours and they can't activate theirs. at which point you get to trade that off, and then you're still left with the 5/6 in play. However, we are going to see Komodo just firing off that sleigh. And all right, there's the Martial Ironthorn and just an attack for 6 in the air. Wow, this Valkyrie Enforcer, pretty big here.
ISD does, Komodo does have a protect though, so perhaps. Yeah,
it's not going to matter at all.
He's going to play it on the Ironthorn to try to fade the harsh roll effect, but the protect is going to save it.
Yeah, so we're going to see that silence on the Martial Ironthorn, just like you predicted, Bob. And there's the protect, and this is a game over. Because we're going to be able to see here, we're going to see a Kraken for 5. Komodo's like, bring it. I can go to 6. Not a big problem. I got a non-depleted. Tatsumaki sees the writing on the wall, knows Komodo based off of no blocks there. Komodo that has a non-depleted power source in hand. They would have been able to play it, gone up to 16 power, and blown up Tatsumaki's board and swung in for the win.
Yes, it was a banner. At first, I thought it was a seat. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, combo banner. Yep. Oh, man. So congratulations to Komodo. They're taking that game down in 2. And I do believe that is there's probably no more backup matches. We're getting confirmation now. Yep, no more backup. So with that, again, everybody remember, ETS starts back up in January. Go to RNGEternal.com. Look at this. Look at the schedule. Look at the calendar. It's free. Come out, play, get your tournament practice in. Even if it's just you just started playing, you just got a couple decks that you put together after the cards that you had. The community is great. The community is nice. They're very helpful. Just come out, get some tournament experience, and who knows where it's going to go? Who knows where it's going to go? But yeah, that was my piece. Counterbob, you got anything you want to add?
No, if we have time, we could possibly talk about any of the spoilers from the new sets.
Yeah. Do you have anything that I don't. I try not to look at spoilers too terribly much, so I'm going to close my ears if you do that. But I know that I am in the minority there. But yeah, did you have a particular card that you were excited about talking?
I like the Nightfall mechanic a lot. I like a lot of the mechanics, but I think Nightfall is going to be super fun. Also, when I first started playing, I started playing a Feln tempo aggro deck, so I'm excited to see cards to start reinforcing that sort of a deck. So I think that's probably what I'm going to start is with some sort of Feln tempo mid range deck.
So how do you,
a bunch of the Nightfall stuff?
How do you feel about those this power that if you have 4 influence of the various influences, it goes and triggers Nightfall?
What's that?
So basically, they released a cycle of power that they come into play depleted. I believe it gives you 1 power, or gives you 1 influence and power of the various factions, and then if you have 4 of that given faction or for that given influence, Nightfall is triggered.
Oh yes. Yeah, it's definitely interesting to see different ways of printing different sets of powers and stuff like that. There's a lot of things you could do, and they didn't take an easy road of copying stuff from other games. Yeah.
I'm skeptical of a Nightfall mechanic personally, but I don't know. Here's hoping it turns into something good. I think that of the spoils that I've seen that I didn't really have a choice of seeing and kind of showed up on my front page, what I really like the big old dinosaur. I believe it's a is it a 6/7? And every time it swings, you play a random power from your deck, and that ability increases by 1.
Yeah, there's a whole cycle of cards for each color. The primal one, when it swings, you draw 1 card. So the next time it swings, you draw 2 cards.
Yeah, the 4/3 Yeti, right?
Yeah, I was watching LSV stream where he spoiled it, and he said during testing they had to keep lowering the power because it's just too good. So that's why it's a 5-drop for just a 4/3.
Yeah. So it looks like we're getting word. So I think we're going to need to take a little bit of a break just to get the next round set up, as it looks like, or at least if I'm reading chat correctly, yeah, we're going to need to take a short break, and then we'll be back with round 3. And it looks like it's going to be Thundershot versus Angry Chicken, which is a match not to be missed. So we definitely encourage everybody to stay tuned in.